Google I/O, Google I/O, Google. Hey, what's up, guys? Soldier Knows Best here. Google I/O 2017 just finished. I'm going to be giving you a very quick recap of all the things that Google talked about and what's going to be coming to some of their products here right today and also in the near future. So it's going to jump right into it. Now, Google Home was one of the first things that they talked about. It's a very popular device nowadays. And one new feature coming to that is that you'll now be able to make hands-free calls. Now, this is only going to be for outbound calls only, but you'll be able to call somebody and by default, it will show up as a private number, but you can't set it up where it actually show up as your personal cell phone number. So this is separate from whatever cellular plan you have. It's going to be free calls for anybody in the US and Canada. And it's also going to be smart enough to know that if I am calling somebody from Google Home, it'll show up as my personal cell phone number, for example. But if my sister, I don't have a sister, but if my sister was to call, it will show up as her personal number. So it's going to be able to recognize your voice and be able to identify which number to show up on that other person's phone. And now soon your Google Home will be able to get your attention by lighting up. And it'll do this when it has something important to tell you, like if it knows that you need to be at work by 9 a.m. in the morning time and it recognizes that there's an accident on the highway, it'll light up, and when you see it, you can say, hey, what's up, Google? And it'll let you know that you may want to leave right now to get to work on time. So different things like that, Google will try to get your attention and to let you know. And for all you audio heads, you'll be able to get access to a couple new audio sources like Spotify and SoundCloud. And also too, you'll now be able to play Bluetooth audio from multiple devices. So it's not going to be just tied to certain devices. Anything that has Bluetooth capabilities, you'll be able to play that audio from that particular device using Google Home. And then the last thing is that Google Home will now be able to cast the responses from information you're asking to get from it onto your TV. So if you're asking what the weather's going to be like for 7 days, it's a lot better to get a visual representation on your TV instead of having to just listen to Google Home tell you day by day. So this is going to be something cool, and I think this is really going to start to expand in the future. Now moving on to one of the things that I use on a daily basis, and that is Google Assistant. Now the first big news is that Google Assistant is going to be coming to the iPhone. So if you're an iPhone user, you've never used Google Assistant on an Android device, you're going to be in for a very nice rude awakening because it's the best personal assistant that you can get on an electronic device right now, in my opinion. And if you use Android TV, get ready to get Google Assistant because it is coming to that platform too. Now, one of the best cool things that they showed off at I/O this year was Google Assistant's ability to actually make third-party actions. So say, for example, you like to order food from Panera. Now, normally you either have to go to the website or you have to download the app, log in, and go through all that stuff. Now, Google Assistant will be able to work with developers who put this inside of their apps to be able to actually do all of that within Google Assistant itself. So check out this example to see how it works.
Hi, how can I help?
I'd like delivery from Panera.
Hi, this is Panera. I'll need your delivery address. Which one can I get from Google?
We'll go with 1600 Amphitheater.
What can I get you started with?
I'll have the strawberry poppy seed salad with steak instead of chicken.
Got it. How about one of these cold drinks?
And here I can just swipe through my options, see what looks good. Agave lemonade.
Great. Are you ready to check out?
Yep.
Okay. The total is $18.40. Are you ready to place the order?
Yes. I'll just scan my fingerprint to pay with Google, and that's it.
Thanks. You're all set.
And so that's pretty useful. And one of the things that they really pointed out was that just how natural the conversation was. It wasn't like you were talking to a voice assistant. It was like you were talking to a normal person on the phone. You're able to make substitutes without actually having to have something on the screen letting you know you can do it. Just talk normally, saying, hey, I want steak instead of chicken or something like that. So I think that's going to be really big, and I can't wait to use that in future applications. Now, if you've ever used Google Translate, you may notice a feature where you're actually able to use your camera on your phone to be able to look at a particular sign in another country, and it'll translate the words on that sign. Well, Google's going to be incorporating some of that same technology into Google Assistant called Google Lens. And this is going to allow you to be able to use the Google Assistant and point it at a movie poster, for example, and it'll actually bring up movie times, and you can probably go ahead and buy tickets in Fandango, or you can point it at a restaurant and it'll pop up right on the screen, just like augmented reality, and it'll show you quick reviews of that website. You'll be able to find information because it knows exactly where you are via GPS and all that stuff, and you can just move your camera around around and move from restaurant to restaurant. And let's say if you go over to a friend's house and you're trying to log into the Wi-Fi network, you can actually walk over to their router and actually scan it with this, and it'll be able to automatically log you into the network by recognizing what the SSID and the password is. So that's awesome. And then the last thing with Google Assistant, you'll now be able to use your keyboard to actually interact with it instead of having to always talk to it. So if you're in a classroom or you're in a place where you need to be quiet, you can't use Google Assistant, which sucks. So now you'll be able to actually pull up a keyboard, type in whatever you need to do, and they'll go ahead and be able to take care of that for you. Now keeping things rolling, let's go ahead and roll on to Google Photos, which is my favorite photo organization app that I like to use. It's simple, easy, available on both platforms, iOS and Android. I just really like it a lot. And they're bringing some new things called suggested sharing. So say you take a lot of photos and you forget to send them to people, you don't mail them or text them to people like they want you to, it'll actually suggest certain photos that are really good from a certain time period or a certain event or of a certain person, and it'll go ahead and suggest you to share those with that person, and it'll automatically select the best ones for you. And this is going to be located in a new sharing tab that's going to be in the bottom of the app, and as soon as you share some photos with somebody, they can actually share photos that they took at that same event, for example, and share them back with you. So it's just a quick way to remind you, hey, you may want to start sharing these photos that you took instead of just letting them waste away on your phone. Now, keeping with the sharing spirit, Google's also introducing shared libraries. And the way this works is that, for example, if you have a husband and a wife and they have kids and they always take photos of the kids, no matter if it's with the husband's phone or the wife's phone, and you want to automatically share those photos with that person, you can do it, because if they go ahead and check that box off in the Google Photos, now every time the husband takes photos of the kids, Google Photos will recognize the faces of the kids and send those photos over to the wife's phone. And so you can enable this for individual faces, or if you just want to share every single photo that you take on your phone to your wife or to your husband, you can enable that, and then every single photo will automatically be available in that shared library for that particular person. I just think that's really cool. And again, it's taking the hassle out of photo sharing and not having to, remind the person to keep doing it. Now, if you're still a physical photo type of person, Google's now making it very easy for you to order an actual photo book or photo album in a physical soft copy or hard copy. And you can quickly do this within Google Photos. It can automatically select photos for you, or you can go in and manually select them. Now, another neat trick that they showed off actually deals with editing photos. And they showed an example where somebody took a picture of a kid playing softball or baseball, and they took it behind the fence. And you really are missing a lot of the photo because the fence is in your way. But actually, Google's going to give you the ability to be able to remove that fence very easily, something similar to what you can do in Photoshop, but not having to pay any money and not have to actually learn how to do it. Google's going to find some way to just allow you to be able to do that very quickly on your phone and get a better image than what you already have. Also, Google kind of surprised everybody by actually talking about YouTube at this I/O event. And a couple new things coming to the YouTube platform include the ability to be able to watch 360 video on your TV. You can actually use your existing remote control to be able to use like the arrow buttons on it to navigate around that 360 video. And eventually you'll be able to watch live 360 video. So events like concerts, you'll be able to watch that and stream it live in 360 on your TV. All right, keeping things moving, let's talk about Android O. Now, Android O doesn't have an official name just yet, but this is going to be the next version of the Android operating system. Now, first up is that you'll be able to download the beta for it right now today. If you're interested in getting that on your particular Android device, you'll be able to test out this new OS. And now some of the features that they talked about was picture in picture. So you'll be able to minimize a video like a YouTube video and be able to still navigate around your phone and still have that video where you can watch it and listen to it. And also Android O is going to be getting notification dots. There's going to be little dots that show up on applications when it does have a notification that you haven't looked at yet. And then you can do a long press on that dot to give a quick little snapshot and a quick little pop-up of information. Then you can choose to go ahead and tap into it or swipe it away to get rid of that notification and also the dot. Now, copy and paste is going to be getting better. And this is something that a lot of people take for granted, but I use it all the time. But say, for example, you're trying to copy and paste a restaurant name, and the restaurant has like 3 words in it, like Old Farm Hill Restaurant. If you just double tap on Old, it'll actually be able to recognize that, hey, this is part of a restaurant's name, and it'll go ahead and highlight the entire name. And this also works for phone numbers. You can just double tap it. It'll just go ahead and automatically highlight that entire phone number or that entire street address, and it'll keep you from having to use the little sliders all the time. So copy and paste may be something that may not seem that important, but it will save you time in the long run. And then lastly, they said that Android O is going to have twice as fast boot up, which is going to be very welcome. And also apps are going to just run better by default. Instead of developers having to do anything, the OS is going to be able to make sure apps run faster and smoother and take up less battery. Now, moving on, it's going to talk about augmented reality and virtual reality. Now, with virtual reality, Google has their Daydream platform, which you've already probably seen, where it's their Daydream headset that you can put a phone in and be able to have virtual reality content. But they did make an announcement that the Samsung Galaxy Galaxy S8 is going to be becoming part of that Daydream lineup, which is kind of surprising because Samsung has their Gear VR headset that they like to sell and get people to buy, but now you'll be able to use that S8 with Daydream. And also too, Google's going to be working on a standalone VR headset, and then we're going to be working in conjunction with Lenovo and HTC. And of course, HTC are the makers of the HTC Vive. So this is going to be pretty interesting to be able to make a standalone VR headset. It's not going to need a phone, anything like that. And so we'll get more information about that later this year, but it's no firm date when that's going to be actually out to the public. And then lastly, Google's going to be expanding on the Project Tango platform with what they call is VPS, which is Visual Positioning Service. So this is very similar to GPS, but this is for indoor applications. So if a particular store signs up for this and has a lot of different pre-positioned dots, using that particular app with Project Tango and all that good stuff, you'll be able to actually navigate within the store and go directly to a particular product, for example, without having to ask somebody where this is. So this has a lot of different use cases, maybe for some of the visual impaired and things like that, but they're going to be expanding on that, and hopefully we'll see more information about that. But overall, guys, I just want to give you a quick recap of Google I/O 2017, and I just did that for you. A lot of information. Hopefully I didn't talk too fast, but definitely leave your comment down below about one of your favorite things that you've seen from this Google I/O event, or just what I've told you about what happened at this event, because I'm very interested to see what you are interested in. And also make sure you do follow me on all my social networks. All those links are down below. And also make sure you do subscribe to me here on YouTube, and you'll be notified when I upload new videos. And like always, I want to thank you for watching this video, and I will catch you later. Peace.